The reason why no one's buying your coaching program is because your coaching program sucks. You're attempting to try to sell something for $1,000 that's only valued at $1,000, when instead you should be trying to sell something that's valued at $10,000 for $1,000. Your competitors are out there selling the same exact thing as you for a tenth of the price. And so of course they're gonna go to the cheaper option. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how I've trained my sales team. Some of our best closers are closing 40% of their deals with 70% PIFs, and how you can communicate the value in your offer better so that you can close more deals, make more money, and beat all of your competitors. Okay guys, so again, I'm gonna teach you how to communicate your offer so it is perceived a lot more valuable, so you can close more deals and charge whatever you want. Now, as we dive in, I'm also going to give you 7 steps to overcoming objections, because you will still get objections. It's inevitable. Okay. But I want to give you a proven way that you can close more deals. It's crucial to understand that most objections aren't just about pricing, timing, or other surface level concerns. They're actually often rooted in deeper psychological factors, other concerns, right? Such as trust, fear, and the perceived risk of them losing money and not getting the reward. So again, my goal is to equip you with the tools to not only handle objections, but prevent them from ever coming up, and to understand what's really going on in the mind of your prospects, these deep concerns, to be able to root them out and get under that, smoke screen that they're giving you, which typically isn't a true objection. And by the end of this training, you'll be able to recognize these deeper reasons why they're not moving forward and address them effectively, turning more no's into yeses. So most people don't buy for the list of reasons below. And if you want this document, I'll leave the little link below, okay? But most people don't buy for reasons that often go deeper than the objection that they're actually telling you, right? While they might mention pricing, it's too expensive, timing, or need to think it over, the real reasons typically stem from a mix of psychological factors that they're not telling you up front. Sometimes they will tell you up front, but most of the time they're not. Number one, that could be lack of trust, right? They got to trust you to buy, because people buy from people that they trust. If the trust isn't established, whether, in you, your product, your company, they'll be hesitant to make a purchase. Number two is a fear of making the wrong decision. Just making a mistake or choosing the wrong option can basically paralyze a prospect if they're thinking about all these other options. So we want to be perceived as the only option, right? So they might be afraid of wasting the money, looking bad to others, or even just experiencing buyer's remorse. The third thing is perceived risk, right? So every purchase comes with some level of risk. If the perceived risk outweighs the potential benefit, they're likely to say no. So I'm going to show you how to reverse that perceived risk in this video. Number 4 is lack of urgency, right? If they don't see an immediate need or benefit, they'll often delay the decision without a compelling reason to act now, right? They're just going to hold off. And the way that you build urgency is through, skillful questions throughout the discovery. And number 5 is unaddressed pain points, right? If the prospect doesn't feel that their core problems or desires have been fully understood or addressed, they're not going to see the value in the solution, okay? Number 6 is overwhelmed by choices, right? So many new salespeople will give way too many options, which can lead to analysis paralysis, right? I like leaving 1-2 options maximum is the most that I'll play around with, right? If the decision seems too complicated, or if they feel overwhelmed by the information that you've provided them, they may opt to do nothing, right? So this is when you are hopping on a call and you're going through your offer and you're explaining all the components and, great benefit, parts of your product, hey, you're going to get trainerized, you're going to get this, you're going to get that, and this is how you do this. And they're just like lost and confused with either the overwhelm of choices of options that you have. Hey, this program's this much, this program's this much, this program's this much, or all of the, bells and whistles that goes with the program. Number 7 is mismatched values. And we're going to really dive deep into this, right? If you remember in the beginning of this video, I said, you're charging $1,000 or $2,000, whatever you're charging, right? Even if you're charging $10,000 for only $10,000 worth of value, right? You're charging $10,000 for $10,000 worth of value. It doesn't really make sense because there's somebody out there selling 10,000 worth of value for $1,000. So they're going to go to the cheaper option where they can get, the same amount of value for less money, right? So if the product or service doesn't align with the prospect's values, their goals, or identity, they're going to resist buying. Okay, they need to see how it fits into their life or their business and see the value into it. 8 is previous negative experience. Maybe they've worked with a coach before, a personal trainer, and they didn't like it, right? Similar product. Maybe they tried, fad diets. Maybe you're selling a fitness product where you're helping people get in shape. They tried keto in the past. They tried P90X. They've tried, Jenny Craig, and none of those things really seem to work for them. That's going to create more skepticism. And obviously that's going to make them a lot more hesitant on making the decision because they don't want to be disappointed once again. 9 is poorly articulated value proposition. We kind of went through this already when I said, you should be charging $1,000 for $10,000 worth of value, not $10,000 worth of value for $10,000, right? People want to get more value than what they're actually paying for. Does that make sense? That's why when you look at a lot of marketing funnels and stuff, they'll say, hey, you're going to get this. The total value is $50,000 and today it's only $5,000, right? Because you're like, oh my God, I get $50,000 worth of value for only $5,000. So you want to be able to communicate your offer where they feel like they're getting 10 times more value for 10 times less. Hopefully that makes sense, right? So if prospect doesn't clearly see how the solution benefits them specifically, they'll have a really hard time justifying that purchase, right? The value must be crystal clear. And typically you want to offer 10 times more value for, again, a tenth of the price. Okay. Number 10 is emotional detachment, right? People buy emotionally and then justify logically. If they're not emotionally invested to the outcome, they're going to have a really hard time committing to it. Overall, summarized into 2 things, 80 to 90% of people don't buy because A, they don't see it as, they don't see the program working for them. They don't see it being, effective. They are skeptical about it working for them. One of these things that we've covered so far, like belief objections, right? They don't believe it's going to work for them. Or 2, they don't see it being valuable enough, right? They think they can get the same thing for cheaper, so they go somewhere else. Now, you never want to argue with someone on pricing because you'll never win. What you need to do is you need to reframe the conversation so they better understand the value that you're giving them at that cost. Or you need to understand if there's a lack of belief, skepticism. If it's a belief objection, then you want to have the right framework to overcome that. And I'm going to give you guys a 7-step framework for that. Okay. So you need to reframe the conversation so they better understand the value that you're giving them at that cost. If you offer what they perceive to be $1,000 worth of value for $1,000, it's not a good deal to them. They will just, go to someone charging $100 for $1,000 in value. I love the way that Hormozi communicates, the components of creating value. He has a whole training on this and I'm sure he can communicate it a little bit better than me. But basically the 4 components of creating value, and this is really important to understand when creating your offers, when communicating your offer, when trying to understand, a lot of people ask me, hey, Eric, well, how do I create a more valuable offer if it's the same thing as everybody else? How do I communicate that value in my offer? How do I create, $10,000 worth of value for only $1,000? So the first thing is you have to figure out the dream outcome that your component wants to achieve. And we'll go a little bit deeper in this in a little bit, right? So understand your customer and what the outcome is. Do they want to lose 30 pounds? Do they want to get abs? What is it? The second part is a prospect and the people that you're trying to sell to is that they have to believe that you're actually going to give them that outcome. Okay. The third part is how long is it going to take to give them that outcome? Obviously, the shorter you can get them from A to Z, the more valuable it becomes. And the fourth piece is the effort and sacrifice that someone has to go through to achieve it, right? How much work do they actually have to do? So if one program is saying, hey, I can help you get 6-pack abs in 3 months in only 1 hour per day versus you're selling something that can get them there in 1.5 months, half of the time frame, and in only 30 minutes a day, they're going to perceive that as being more valuable. So the goal is to shrink that as much as possible. So in the perfect world, like the perfect offer, which, is challenging, we make an amazing promise that they believe they can accomplish immediately with almost no effort. And when we're thinking about value, those are the 4 things that go into it. Again, we want to focus on raising the perceived value before you get to the price during your pitch, and you'll get fewer objections. And you can do this in 4 ways. Number 1 is shorten the time it would take for them to see results. For example, 2 weeks versus 20 weeks. Okay, that can even be a short-term win that they're going to start perceiving it as more valuable. Number 2 is require less effort for them to see the result. Example is 3 hours a week versus 3 hours a day. Obviously, if you're working, for example, if your avatar is busy professionals and you're like, yeah, to get you from A to Z, I need you in the gym for 2 hours every single day, 1 hour of cardio, 1 hour of strength training. They're not going to value that as much as someone that's saying, hey, I can get you the same exact result in the same exact time frame or even less. Extreme example, 3 hours a week versus 3 hours a day. So, person A is saying, hey, I need you in the gym, 2 hours a day. And person B is saying, I only need you in there 3 hours a week and I'll get you the same result. So it's less effort from them. So they're going to perceive it as more valuable, right? Because time is valuable. Number 3 is increase the likelihood of the outcome. That's very easy. The person saying, I guarantee results or your money back versus, hey, yeah, just trust me. I got your back. We'll get you there. Obviously, this is going to increase, the likelihood of the outcome. Number 4 is increase the outcome, the actual outcome, dream outcome that they want. That's like you saying, yeah, I'll help you lose 10 pounds versus, yeah, I'll help you lose 30 pounds. This is a much more of an outcome. And this is how you increase the value of your offer. So again, you can get fewer objections, and so you can also charge more money, and so you can also stomp on your competitors' necks. Okay, so they can stop making decisions based on pricing, and you can demand what you're worth. Regardless of even having an amazing offer, you'll obviously get fewer objections. And this can take a lot of tailoring and experimenting and testing to really get your offer down and really get people saying yes frequently. An example of a great fitness offer that I had was, in 90 days, we'll help you get completely shredded while enjoying your favorite foods. And if it doesn't work, we will give you your money back guaranteed. Not only does that offer attract more leads, but when you get on a call with them and you're saying, I only need 90 days to get you shredded, and I only need you working out at least 3 hours a week, and we guarantee these results, or we just send you a full refund. It allowed for me to really, close a lot more deals because that confidence, that conviction, and also the 4 components of making a great offer. Now, if you do still get objections, understand that most of your objections come down to 2 things: value, belief, right? They either don't value it, which is what we just covered, or they don't believe in your product working. Okay, so the framework to overcome that, instead of trying to argue with them, putting your hands up ready to fight them, rescheduling the call, just quitting, is what we're going to cover. So there's 7 steps to it. Number 1 is acknowledging the objection. So agreeing. Number 2 is clarify what the true objection is. Number 3 is resonate with the objection. Number 4 is isolating the objection. Number 5 is address the objection. Number 6 is test for commitment. That way there we can get started on the call. And then 7, you close the loop. Now, I made a training on an entry basic level 7-step framework to overcome objections. If this is a little too advanced for you, just let me know. This is a little bit more of an advanced strategy with advanced question asking. Let's say, for example, step 1 is acknowledge the objection. Let's say the customer says, the program is, I'm not sure I can afford it. So we want to acknowledge the objection first. We'll just be like, yeah, man, that's a valid concern. Can you help me understand what specifically led you to feel this way, right? So the prospect said that they cannot afford it, right? So this is the purpose of this, is it opens up the conversation and invites the prospect to elaborate, making them feel heard and valued while giving you insight into the true concerns, right? And it doesn't matter what they say. They can say spouse, I need to speak to my wife. Gotcha, man. I completely understand how you feel. Can you help me understand what specifically, makes you feel that way? And then they're going to open up, right? Because it's an open-ended question. It just helps them feel heard and valued while giving insight. But let's say on track, let's say like they say the program, like they can't afford it. You say, okay, well, that's a valid concern, man. I know money is a real thing. Can you help me understand what specifically led you to feel this way? Well, Eric, I just don't have the money, like a little bit out of my budget. Okay, I understand. So step 2 is to clarify the objection. So just so I'm clear, Jeff, is the money the only thing holding you back? Right, this is option A. Or B, you can say, okay, man, we can dive a little bit deeper. Can you walk me through how this particular concern is impacting your decision-making process? So now they're going to say, well, I do know I need to lose 30 pounds, but it's a little bit out of my price range, like I mentioned, Eric. Or if you say, just so I'm clear, is the money the only thing holding you back? They're now going to possibly tell you their true concern. Oh, yeah, it's money, but it's also XYZ, right? Like, I'm not sure about the diet or the workouts or whatever it might be. But if it's only money, then we just need to figure out the money thing. But many times, like I mentioned earlier, there's a deeper rooted cause to why they're giving you the objection, right? So the purpose of this is so it encourages a prospect to reflect on the objection's weight and relevance, like helping them realize if it's a core issue or just a surface level concern, right? So again, we're basically going to restate the objection. So, okay, cool. So if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying that money is the only thing stopping us. Is that correct? Yes. Or, so if I'm getting this right, you're worried about not being able to afford this. Is that like next month, right now, or bills tight? Or how do you see this playing out if nothing changes? So if I'm getting this right, you're worried about money, is that correct? Yes. Okay, Jeff, how do you see this playing out if nothing changes? This allows for you to confirm the objection while prompting the prospect to think about the future consequences, and you're subtly shifting their perspective. They're starting to think about the cost of not doing this, right? Now what we're gonna do is isolate the objection, right? So now we've asked a few questions, trying to, get below those surface level objections to see if maybe there's something more than money. Because remember, they might be telling you money, but the true concern is they don't believe in the program working, or they don't believe, they don't see the value in it. They think they could get it cheaper, right? We're gonna isolate the objection. So aside from money, is there anything else holding you back, Jeff? Or I like this one a little bit better. Besides the money, is there anything else that might be making you hesitant? Or is this the main challenge for you right now? Just figure it out how we can get this money figured out. Yeah, no, Eric, I love, let's say option A, they say, yeah, no, Eric, I love the program. The money is, I'm a little bit afraid, that I can afford it. Okay, well, I got you, Jeff. What if we explore a way where you can afford to drop the body fat, lose the 30 pounds while enjoying your favorite foods? Would that change your perspective on moving forward? So we're saying, hey, what if we could explore a way where you could afford this, where it fits your budget? How would that change your perspective on moving forward? So this positions the solution as a collaborative exploration rather than a hard sell. It's going to encourage the prospect to visualize that positive outcome. And if they do option B, like, yeah, let's say right here, you're like, besides, the money, is there anything else that might be making you hesitant? Or is that the main challenge for you? Some people here are going to say, yeah, it's the money, but I'm also not sure how, your workout program works. Right? Because we want to narrow down the focus to the real barrier, allowing for us to address the true core issue without getting sidetracked by secondary concerns. So now they're saying money, but there's also a concern of how the workouts work, right? Like how many hours they need to do or whatever. And you say, well, if we did explore a way where you could fit this into your busy schedule, the workout plan, how would that change your perspective on moving forward? And let's say they're like, well, yeah, if I can fit it into my 12-hour per day job, that would be cool. Okay, well, let me ask you this, Jeff. If we can resolve this, if we can find a way where instead of you working out 6 hours a week, you're able to work out 3 hours a week, if we could resolve that, would you be ready to move forward? Or if we can align on this and find a solution, do you feel confident this would put you in a position to take the next step? Yeah, man. I mean, if we can figure out a way where I don't have to be in a gym, all day, and we can work around my busy schedule and traveling, I'd be open. I think we could make this work. From there, you're going to close that loop. So you can say, awesome. It sounds like we're on the same page. Is it cool if we, lay out the next steps of what that would look like together? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then you explain how, you can work around their busy schedule to create a formula that is going to work for them, right? So we started off with money, but the true objection was their concern of being able to commit to the program and the hours required for them to, lose the 20, 40 pounds or whatever their desired goal is. From there, we go through this pretty much the same loop. Let's say you solve that and you're like, yeah, so, we only need you working out 3 hours a week. And he's like, yeah, I can totally do that. Be like, okay, great, man. Well, let's get you started then. And from there, they might still bring up the money or they might not. But the whole idea of this is to really root out that true concern. So let's go through it once again, just so you guys understand. So, okay, yeah, man, the program is $2,000, right? Oh, wow, man, that's a lot. Well, yeah, man, that's a valid concern. Can you help me understand what specifically led you to feel that way? Well, Eric, I'm just not sure because, I can get a personal trainer for $50 per session at LA Fitness or a cheap gym around me. Oh, okay, because we're opening up the conversation. Just, let's dig a bit deeper here. Can you walk me through how that particular concern is impacting, your decision-making process? Or just so I'm clear, is it just being more expensive than XYZ trainer? Is that the only thing holding you back? Yeah, Eric, I want to, kind of keep my, options open. I think I might want a personal trainer instead of an online coach. Oh, okay, got you. So if I'm getting this right, you're worried about actually losing the 30 pounds and it being effective enough and me holding you accountable and having the proper form. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. Okay, well, aside from that, from the accountability and you getting your form right, me versus an in-person trainer, is there anything else holding you back? Well, that's about it. I mean, I just think an in-person trainer would be better for me, Eric. I'm not, too sure this online thing is for me personally. Right? So the true concern, it started off as it being expensive, but the real underlying root cause of him saying possibly no is because he's considering other options, cheaper options, like a personal trainer, meaning he didn't value the program enough to say yes, and he didn't believe in it enough. Okay, so aside from working with an in-person trainer, you feeling like they might be able to help you more, is there anything else holding you back? Is there anything that might be making you hesitant, or is that the main challenge for you right now? Yeah, that's it. Well, let me ask you this, John. If I can show you how we can show you how to get your form proper with far less work than an in-person trainer for about the same, same time commitment, and guarantee you even better results than an in-person trainer, how would that change your perspective on moving forward? So you see what I'm doing here? I'm saying, hey, I get your, I understand your concerns about in-person training versus online training, but if we can figure something out that can get you there faster, that can guarantee results and remove your worries about getting the proper form, would that change your perspective on moving forward? And let's say here, he's like, yeah, well, how would you do that? Great question. And if we can resolve this, would you be ready to move forward today if we can create a formula for that? Yes, I think I would. Great. Well, it sounds like we're kind of on the same page here, right? So now, we want to talk about how we're going to do it. So we're going to say, yeah, man. So the way that we're going to get you there faster is, number one, is I'm going to be with you 24/7 versus an in-person trainer is just there holding your hand for 30 minutes a day. Number two is when it comes to dropping 20 to 30 pounds of body fat, like you said, you've already been very active going to the gym consistently, but not dropping body fat. And that's because 90% of your results are dictated by nutrition. I'm going to give you nutrition that allows for you to eat what you want and drop body fat sustainably in only 90 days. So instead of you trying to do this on your own for the next 6 months to a year trying to figure it out, I'm going to guarantee you results in only 3 months. And if it doesn't work, if I don't help you lose 30 pounds in only 3 months, then I just give you a full refund. And your concerns about working with a personal trainer, man, my application shows you exactly how to perform the exercises. And if you are still confused, you just send me a video and I fix it immediately. And then from here, what I'll typically do is I say, hey, one of our clients, John, our other clients, his name is John, he was concerned with the same exact things. He felt like an in-person trainer would be more beneficial for him when it came to dropping body fat and getting his form right. So instead, what we did was we really honed in on giving him really precise instructional videos that clarified that. And I helped him realize that nutrition dictates 90% of results. He trusted me, took action, and he dropped more body fat working with me in only 90 days than he did for a whole year of working with an in-person trainer. John, if we can figure out that same exact thing for you, would you say we can start taking those next steps? Yeah, wow. That guy, John, lost 30 pounds in 3 months and he was working with an in-person trainer? Yes. Great. Let's go ahead and get you started. Ask for the sale again, close the loop, right? And this creates a sense of partnership in the decision, right? And ensuring prospect feels empowered and supported. So it's a really soft way to really just uncover those underlying concerns, to see if they actually value it. So in that last example, if you're really listening here, that prospect was not concerned about the money. He said initially he was, hey man, this is a lot of money. And then by asking the right questions, we uncovered that the money is just something he's saying. But the true thing is that he feels like he can get more value from a personal trainer for less. So why would he pay for your thing, your program, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 when he can just pay $50 per session and get the same result, more support, the right form, which is what he was looking for, right? He feels like he can drop more body fat with this guy for 1/10 of the price. What I did is I kept asking him questions to make sure that was the only concern through using this framework. And then I addressed the objection. I said, hey, dude, we can actually fix all those things in a quarter of the time. I increased the perceived value, explained, gave him clarity on how this is better than in-person training, how I'm going to get his form way better, his diet way better, and how he's getting way more value than an in-person trainer for almost the same price, for pretty much the same price. So now he's seeing it perceived as more valuable. He's saying, wow, so an in-person trainer, I'm going to pay, like $1,000 for 3 months because it's $100 a session, 4 sessions a month, $400 a month. That comes out to $1,200 for 3 months, roughly, right? More or less. And I'm probably not going to lose weight like his other client, John. And I'm not even gonna get nutrition with an in-person trainer. And instead I could just sign up with Eric for $1,000, which is slightly less, for more value, more support. And he's giving me everything. He's giving me the workouts. He's giving me nutrition. He's giving me accountability. He's sending me personalized videos. He's freaking hopping on calls with me, and he's guaranteeing the results or the money back, which an in-person trainer wasn't guaranteeing that. So what I did was I implemented and installed these 4 components of value, right? I shortened the time it would take him. I said, hey, instead of waiting 6 months to a year with a personal trainer, I'll get you there there in only 3 months. I required less effort for him to see the result. I said, hey, dude, I only need you in the gym 3 hours per week versus you working out with a trainer at minimum 4 hours a week, plus driving, plus this, plus that. And I increased the likelihood of the outcome because I said, hey, I'll guarantee you results just like my other client, John. And if it doesn't work, you don't pay. And I increased the outcome. I said, hey, instead of losing 20 pounds, I'm gonna help you lose 30 or whatever. I might have forgot this fourth component, but hopefully you get the point. And that's what I said. And then I just tested the commitment. After I said that, I said, hey, based on everything, I just said, if we can get aligned on this and do you feel confident in your position to take the next step? Awesome. And then he said, yes. And awesome. Let's, I'm glad we're on the same page. Shall we start taking those next steps? Yes. Great. Awesome. Let's go. So moral of the story is just because they're telling you something, XYZ, spouse, money, timing, whatever it is, most of the time that's not the true objection. The true objection is value. They don't see the value, so they think they can get the same exact thing for way cheaper, or belief. They don't believe your program actually working for them. So there's a lot of different routes and examples I can give you, but you use this same framework to just get under those surface level objections, smoke screens that some people call it, that they're giving you. If they're giving you like a belief objection, you go through the same thing. Hey, just so I'm clear, is the money the only thing holding you back? Yes, Eric. Okay, if I'm understanding correctly, if we can figure out the money thing, we can get you started. Well, I'm also, yeah, I think so. Okay, aside from money, is there anything else? Is there anything else making you hesitant, man? Or is that just the main challenge? Is just the money? Well, this is when they give you the true real dog Holyfield, the real deal. Oh, well, there's another trainer out there. I'm not sure if he can, get my form right. I'm not sure if the nutrition is going to work for me because I tried keto in the past. Oh, ding dong. Then the light bulb goes on, right? You're like, oh shit. Okay, so he's not just truly only concerned about money. He's also concerned about something else. So there's something else that's stopping him. He doesn't truly believe in this working. So from there, you say, okay, man, if I can show you how I can guarantee you to lose that 30 pounds and stick to this diet for good, and it's not going to suck like keto, can we get you started on the possibly talk about next steps? Or how would that change your decision-making process? Would that help? Oh yeah, if you can guarantee results and I don't have to do keto and I'm gonna stick to this diet permanently and I'm gonna love it and I can still eat pizza, sure. Then you talk about the solution again, and you also wanna paint that vision by giving testimonials, whether that's yourself or other clients. Hey man, hey, I lost weight by eating pizza 2 times a week and now I'm shredded with a 6-pack and I'm gonna help you do the same thing and I guarantee the results in 90 days. If it doesn't work, I give you your money back. Does that make sense? Yes, great, boom. Are you ready to move forward if we solve this? Yes, cool, let's get you started. Same thing, same framework, go through it the same exact way, but ultimately it comes down to value or belief. So again, overall, we want to sell a product for $1,000 that's worth $10,000. Same thing if your price point is $5,000. If your offer is $5,000, you want to give them $50,000 worth of value. If you're selling something for $10,000, you want to give them $100,000 worth of value, because there's somebody else selling the same exact thing or communicating the same exact thing that's selling something that's valued at $1,000 for $100. So of course, they're always going to choose the $100 option unless you're perceived as the most valuable, the only solution, the best solution. You want to be perceived as the best solution using these 4 components of Alex Mosey's value equation. So I hope this training helped. If you want the script of this, just click the link below. I'll leave it in the description, and make sure you give me a subscribe, hit that subscribe button, tap the heart button, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.